Good evening, everyone. Welcome in. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, joined by our coach, celebrating now 6 consecutive 20-win seasons. The Bears finished 24-5, 14-5 in the Mid-South Conference. The regular season complete. Ladies and gentlemen, our coach, a two-time All-State player, 2011 NAIA National Coach of the Year, two-time Kentucky High School Coach of the Year, and Kentucky Sweet 16 Championship Coach. We call him our coach. He is Kelly Wells. Coach, the regular season done, 24-5, and a lot to be thankful for with that type of record. I know 5, it's still a little burr in the side. You don't like to lose any games, but 24-5 you have to be happy with.
Yeah, you looked at Columbia on the ratings today, and they were 30-0. So that's the kind of scenario we want to work our way into. But 24-5 in our league is a tremendous record. So we're thrilled to death to represent our league. We locked up the number 2 seed, which we want that number 1. We finished 1 game outside of a tie for the conference championship. But we still have that opportunity in the Mid-South Conference as well as national tournament, which we qualified for.
That's what we're going to talk about tonight. And, of course, the Bears coming off 3 straight wins over the weekend. Tough weekend stretch we talked about last week. Would the legs still be there on Monday? Maybe not so much in the first half at Wise last night, but the legs recovered, and this team took care of business over the weekend, and that's what UPike basketball is all about.
3 games in 5 days makes it tough. We caught everybody senior night, and Wise was ready for us, and boy, their crowd was tremendous, got after us. I think it kind of actually intimidated our guys a little bit in the first half, even as hard as that is to say. But in the second half, I think our guys woke up and rose the challenge and really played like we're capable of playing.
Regular season complete, and we look forward to the Mid-South Conference Tournament, the national tournament, and tonight we'll take a look at the latest ratings out of NAIA headquarters in Kansas City. Those have been released. We'll hold on to those for just a little while. But when you look at this season and the promise of this season heading in, is this a team that you expected to be top 2 in the Mid-South Conference? Is this a team that you felt like could run the table in the Mid-South Conference? Did they meet expectations, I guess?
Well, I think early on when we had our full complement of players, I felt like the sky was kind of the limit. Then we had injuries. We lost both our post players immediately. We lost a guard immediately. Then at the semester break, we lost a couple players to academics. I got sick at one point. So really to say throughout all the adversity we had, this has been a remarkable, stellar regular season for our team. I think we've shown a lot of maturity. We could have easily folded up tents several times and said, well, this is just going to be tough. I don't want any part of it. But our guys wanted a part of it. They sure did, and we finished 24-5 because of it.
A lot of maturity on your team and a lot of leadership.
I think so, and I think at the key positions, too. I mean, our guards are wily. They're smart. They've been through a lot of experiences, a lot of battles, and they lead best by example. It's not their mouths. It's not anything. They lead by their feet, and they show the path. And I'm tickled for the guys because they deserve success, and they've handled themselves properly.
First question, and I've been asked this question several times around high school tournaments, around basketball people. Now the regular season is complete. You wrapped it up last night. How definite is the national tournament for UPike? That's the question I've been asked.
We're in. There's really no possibilities of us not being in, securing the 2 seed. We're going to get minimum 3 teams out of our league to the tournament. Even if there's an upset, somebody comes in and wins our conference tournament. That's, let's say it's a Cumberland's Kentucky wins the tournament, they get an automatic bid. We're still going to be high enough, and we'll talk about our ratings in a minute.
Sure.
That we'll be fine in that regard. But our goal is not to sneak in or slide in from somebody's favors. Our goal is to win 3 games in 3 days on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and earn another way and another championship on our way to national tournament.
Hang another banner.
That's the key. It's one that's eluded us, and the Mid-South Conference is tough. I mean, it's brutal, and it won't be any different Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You go through St. Catherine's, you're probably going to have Georgetown College, and you're probably going to have Lindsey Wilson. And you give me 3 harder games in a row, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, and really it's tougher than the national tournament because the national tournament you do get a break. You'll get a day break between games a lot of times. And the Mid-South Conference is back-to-back, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and, of course, we'll be in Frankfort for that. And 3 tough games lined up for you. And the national tournament, last time we talked about, we actually sat and watched the seedings being announced and the national tournament selections. And the Bears, of course, an unseeded team in that tournament. And if you want to call it snuck in that one, but went on to win it. So certainly it's a possibility. But going in right now as the number 2 seed in the Mid-South Conference, where would you expect to see your team seated at this point?
Well, if things finish today, I think we'd be in the top third of the seeded teams. I think that we'll have an opportunity to play anywhere between a 20 to a 23, 24, somewhere in that area. And it depends some how we close out. If we finish tremendous, that could go higher. If we finish poorly, then it could go a little bit lower, but I don't think it'll go lower than kind of where we stand. So I think we've got a great opportunity in front of us. The ratings don't include Monday's win as well. So we'll actually move a little bit farther in the last poll, I think, up. So we've got that opportunity, and that's all you can ask for as a basketball coach.
Of course, we'll talk again next week after the Mid-South Conference tournament, before the trip to Kansas City. So UPike fans, make your plans to go ahead and get your travel plans set for Kansas City, and plan to stay a few days, because we certainly do plan to spend some time in Kansas City as well. You're tuned to the Kelly Wells Show. We're talking UPike basketball. The regular season complete, and now it's for real. 24-5, the Bears stand 14-5 in the Mid-South, and the number 2 seed in the Mid-South Conference with 2 wins over the number 1 seed. I don't know. I kind of like the sound of us being the best team in the conference. We're going to find that out this weekend at the Frankfort Civic Center with the Mid-South Conference tournament. We'll talk about that when we come back. We'll catch you up with some highlights from Bears action this past week, winding down the regular season. It's all on tonight's edition of the Kelly Wells Show. Along with the national ratings, it's presented by Appalachian Wireless. We're right back right after this. Welcome back in. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We talk UPike basketball. The regular season complete. The Bears finished 24-5 and 14-5 in the Mid-South Conference, and coming off 3 straight wins on the road to finish the regular season. Tough weekend for the Bears. Going in, anytime you go on the road in the Mid-South Conference, you know you've got a task in front of you. And we'll take a look at some highlights from a couple of games from the weekend. First, we'll go to Shawnee State, team that's been receiving votes in the top 25, certainly a capable opponent. And we'll take a look at the highlights tonight in the Bears' win over Shawnee.
This was a huge week for Shawnee. They needed some wins and ended up actually dropping down to 5th in our league. But you'll see here on the road a great crowd, and we just did a great job. We unveiled our black uniforms for this trip too. We haven't worn them all season, and guys responded well. If you look here, all 5 guys on our team touch the basketball, and we get a great shot early in the game. That's what you really want to see out of a veteran team. Here's a nice rebound. Trevor's really added that dynamic to his game. He's had 4 straight double-doubles, and basketball gets out real quick. Deuce gets him an easy bank shot in transition, and then gets our press going back again. Here's a good contest on the shot, and look who's here on the glass again. Trevor Setti with a great outlet. Deuce with his head up trying to see what traffic's going on. Kick to CJ, and I tell you, Chris has really picked up his shooting as of late too, which has been a huge bonus for us.
And early in the season didn't really look to score, but he certainly can be a scorer.
Well, it takes some pressure off too, and here's Big T picking up some garbage points around the bucket. Has a little complaint for the official not getting his foul, but we're trying to get that out of him as best we can. But a good hustle play. And here's a nice set. We've been really having some good luck with this UCLA cut off the high post and getting ourselves some easy baskets. Great screen here by Terrence for EJ, and EJ just finds people every single time they're open. He never misses a guy, and nonetheless there. Here's a good battle for a rebound on the backside we don't come up with, but we end up making a hustle play out underneath the basket. And when that ball's in those 2 guys' hands, Chris Johnson and Deuce Briscoe in transition, I feel really, really good about what's going to happen at the end. And CJ gets a nice left-handed layup.
Absolutely. Of course, Deuce can score, but he's also a great passer.
Here's EJ putting a crossover on their point guard and cashing in a nice 3. Just a great play from him. He had a great night at Shawnee, big-time night. Here's Trevor. You better not leave him open very long or he'll make you pay for it. He's playing very hot right now. He's streaky hot. Now, that was one of his terrible shots, but pick up by EJ. Shooters, sometimes you got to give them a little bit of leeway. Sometimes they'll take a few bad ones, and coach will pull their hair out a little bit. But you see, we had a good halftime lead here. Here's Trevor showing another dynamic to the game, mid-range. You saw him make the three. You saw him rebound. Now you saw him get to the mid-range. Just playing really good. Another half-court set for us. Get him caught on the back door and finished with an and one. And Deuce has done a great job making free throws as well. Down the stretch, I think he made 7 consecutive.
You've been pleased with your team's free throw shooting as a whole?
I was till I just saw that when he missed it. But yeah, we've really picked our shooting up. We're actually over 76% as a team, and that's a winnable percentage for us.
Coaches will take that any day.
Yeah. Here again, another half-court set, catch him overplaying. And that's the thing with Deuce. People just follow him around, chase him down, hold him, hug him. And we've been trying to get him on some of that backdoor stuff to loosen it up, and he's done a good job. And here he's coming off a ball screen after making a couple layups. He's feeling it and good and confident. Transition, ball's in Chris Johnson's hands. Great outlet pass. I mean, just tremendous outlet pass. Colt Chapman running the floor doing what he does. Here's EJ coming off a high ball screen. Great ball reversal. And we did percentages. Every time we get at least 3 passes in, we're shooting over 66% as a team. So if our guys will be smart enough to figure out to pass the ball a little bit, we'll be in great shape.
A couple of extra passes, and the Bears get a 72-52 win over Shawnee State University on the road, and then finishing up the regular season on the road at Wise, UVA Wise. That coming last night, and this is a close game at the end of one half of play. Of course, you talked about crowd getting after the Bears, maybe a little intimidated. From here on, in the Mid-South Conference tournament, even the national tournament, you don't see those type of crowds.
Well, I think it shocked our guys a little bit. I've been here 6 years, going on 7 years now, and I've never seen Wise have a crowd like they had the other night. And I think it took our guys by surprise in some ways, and they were into it. They were boisterous and very personal, and our guys kind of, I don't know if they took offense to it, but they got big-eyed for sure. And give Wise a lot of credit. Their players came out, shot the ball in the first half tremendous. We didn't play terrible. We just didn't make baskets. We only gave up 30 points, and you know, if you give up 60 points in a night against our team, we feel like we have a great chance to win. But we just couldn't find a basket. I don't know if that was nerves or whatever, but you'll see in the first half we didn't shoot the ball as well as we're capable of.
We have to remember, teams like UVA Wise, they're not looking at a national tournament berth, but a win over U-Pike, who is. That makes their season. That's somewhat of a Super Bowl for those guys.
Well, we get everybody's hungry effort, and Lee Clark does a great job with those guys over there. They play hard. They never take a minute off. His talent level is tremendous. They've got one of the best rebounders in the country at any level. And it was a good challenge for us early in the game, and we had to play near perfect in the second half to get a good lead and finally finish the game the way we wanted to.
Let's take a look at the highlights now, and we'll get started with McGee and Trevor Setti. Had a big night again.
Another one,
double-double.
Another one of our sets here. Did a great job of getting to the basket. Didn't finish as well as we wanted to there, but Greg McGee with an awesome hustle play. He's been really sick, so it's good to see him get back in the lineup and start doing his thing again. And again, you notice a common theme here by us. Everybody's touching the basketball. That's 5 guys touching it. EJ does a good job of controlling tempo here and seeing what we want. Good kick back for Trevor, who makes a nice little move here on the mid-post. That's a tough shot. That is a tough basketball play.
A couple of years ago, we would have seen Trevor go ahead and force a 3 there. Now he gets the steal defense, and he creates his own.
He was a catalyst for us. I mean, he's playing hot basketball right now.
Again, the black uniforms, I like.
We did. I let the guys vote on them. They like them, and that's what we'll end up sticking with probably on a road game so far. But Terrence Santil was player of the game in this. He had 16 points and 10 rebounds. He was all over the place. Didn't commit a bunch of silly fouls, a couple. But he was definitely dialed in and played one of his better games of the year. Here's Josh Witt doing his thing, what he does, getting a great steal. Probably could have passed that ball, but we didn't pout on it. We just went back and got the rebound, and Trevor put it in. Here's another half-court set for us, and Terrence again cleaning up on the screen, and he can't give Deuce Briscoe much room or he'll make you pay for it. Here's a nice contest. Guards are rebounding. We got all 5 guys to the glass, pushing the ball the head up. Once you beat some alpha dribble, smooth sailing down here. We didn't make the layup, but we stayed with it. Hustle play, 50-50 ball, and Terrence gets him a layup out of it. Here's another half-court set. Great movement, great offense, easy basket we missed, but Greg McGee's there to clean it up with a great hustle play.
Closing down the first half here, it's a 1-point game.
Yeah, and PJ, this is a big shot at the end of the half. Just a huge play by PJ Jenkins. Really didn't know what he was going to be able to give us that night because he's been out. Actually, didn't travel with us on the road, so it was a great pickup. And here comes the second half, and we were dialed in as hard as you can be dialed in. And Trevor making a great offensive play and Terrence cleaning it up on the miss. Here's an isolation play for us to Terrence Santillo. I think he scored our first 6 buckets out of half. Here's another great defensive play. We're on the floor. How about that? Your guy's got a double-double the last 4 nights. His first guy to the floor. Makes a great outlet pass to Chris Johnson. Kick to Josh. Give the reward back to the guy who got you hustle plays. And he's going to knock that down every time.
And that's a guy that was National Player of the Week last week, and he's down on the floor. What a great example for teams, for guys on the bench.
Yeah, it really is. And here's Deuce Briscoe just filling it as well towards the end and gets another and one, and to the line he goes. And we just really started going here. Deuce probably could have had 20 more in a row, and he just wanted to be unselfish and get the ball to everybody else. And again, that's a tough basketball player right there, but like I said, he's playing hot, and you let him get by with some of those kind of moves. Here's another one of our sets that we do a good job, and we start making it. I think we were 8 of 11, I think, or 7 of 11 in the second half from the three-point line. And when we shoot it that well, your opponent's going to be in trouble.
Absolutely. 54-18. The Bears outscored Wise in the second half and just exploded in the second half, and that's what we're seeing now.
Great unselfish play. Gets whacked in the corner, no call, but does a great job of finishing his basket. Great movement here. Cody Malakote late in the game with a step-back 3. Really did a good job of getting everybody involved, especially here late. Here's Zach Howard with a good 3 trail break late. Just everybody was a piece of the puzzle that night, and it was fun to see him play well.
Absolutely. It's been fun to watch these young guys grow up as well. Cody Malakote, Colt Chapman in particular, a couple of guys that played like freshmen early in the year. We're starting to see them play much more experienced now.
Colt just gives us so much energy when he's in there. He's free. He's just free spirit. He plays so doggone hard that you just have to kind of follow his lead. If he makes a mistake, it's going to be because he's playing hard. And those are the kind of examples you want. You don't want somebody coming off the bench and giving you a letdown. You want guys picking you up, and he's been that energy guy for us.
It's been this entire team. This team has taken on that type of mindset. As we saw, Trevor Setti, National Player of the Week, a guy who's been the national tournament MVP. He's had a double-double, I don't know, 4 straight now, something like that. But he's down on the floor trying to get after a loose ball. It would be so much easier for guys like that, for guys who are leading the team in scoring, who are among the leaders in the conference in scoring, to let somebody else get on the floor and get after the basketball. But the mindset of this team seemed to be all in again and doing little things to get the wins.
Well, it does. Just like Trevor diving for loose balls, Deuce took 2 charges in the Shawnee State game. It's just the small little details that send a great message. And people don't care if you shoot the basketball as long as you hustle and you give your very best. Now, people do care if you shoot the ball and then you loaf on defense.
Right.
So we got to make sure we stay away from that. But our guys have done a great job. Heck, we've got the conference's leading assist guy, and Chris Johnson, who shares the ball as well as anybody. He's leading the conference in steals. You know, we have 2 of the best scorers in the league in Deuce Briscoe and Trevor Setti. We've probably got one of the best post players in Terrence Santillo, and if he gives us 16 and 10 each night, we're going to be tough to handle.
And you've got a little bit of depth as well, but you go very deep at the guard position. Then Greg McGee, what a great addition he's been, providing a little depth as well. 85-48, the win over Wise, wrapping up the regular season. Do you feel like this team's all bought in now? National tournament on the horizon, Mid-South Conference coming up this weekend. Do you feel like this team is truly bought in?
Well, I think so. I think guys like Josh Whitaker and Elijah Justice have kind of been our glue guys, so to speak. You know, they don't demand points. They don't demand certain things. And I think they've just been our glue guys. And I think they've helped kind of solidify what we're trying to do collectively. And everybody will get their share of credit if we are successful.
Sure.
When you're not successful, the credit doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, and this bunch has gotten to where they're very giving, they're very unselfish. And I think those 2 guys, just to be blunt with you, Elijah and Josh, have been our catalysts in that because they care about winning. And that's it.
Absolutely. And they know how to win.
And they have won.
Are winners. It's the Kelly Wells Show. We talk to you Pike basketball and wrapping up the regular season. Coming up this Friday night, the Bears in action in Mid-South Conference tournament play at the Frankfort Civic Center. St. Catherine the opponent, 6 p.m. tip-off Friday, Saturday, then an 8 p.m. tip-off for Saturday night's game should the Bears advance, and we certainly expect them to. And then the championship on Sunday. Of course, we'll have coverage on Z-Rock 107.5 of those games. When we come back, we'll talk about the Mid-South Conference tournament and the matchups there. Also, the latest national ratings have been released. We have those coming up for you next on the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back in the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We talk U Pike basketball, and of course the regular season now complete. The final ratings after the regular season heading to tournament time, and those released earlier this evening. Coach Lindsey Wilson, the #1 seed in the Mid-South Conference, a team you've beaten twice, now ranked 3rd in the country. U Pike in this week at number 10. Georgetown 16th and Campbellsville receiving votes. Still respect for the conference. You've got 3 teams in the top 16. Do you agree with where the Mid-South teams shook out?
Well, the hard part to understand is this doesn't include Monday's games where Lindsey Wilson got upset by Campbellsville.
Sure.
So that'll move, the next polls will move Lindsey down a little bit, and that'll move Campbellsville up into the top 25, which I think they deserve to be in the top 20. 22, somewhere in that area,
right.
Which I think will happen because they upset Lindsey, who was #1 in our league. And I think that will actually move us up a little bit, too. I think we might get to 9, and a couple of teams ahead of us lost their Monday night game. So it's still going to shake up a little bit. But I think it's been fair. I think Georgetown probably deserves to be a little bit higher than 16th. I'd like to see them fall anywhere between 12 and 13, somewhere in that area. But, you know, the rating system's tough. You know, none of the Raiders see everybody play. I don't see the California teams play. I don't see the Montana schools play, so it's difficult. We do as well as we can by doing phone conversations and begging and pleading with coaches about our teams and our league. But it's a tough deal. We just don't see everybody, which makes it difficult. But I think it's been fair. So I'm anxious to see how it all plays out this last poll.
And of course, the Mid-South Conference tournament coming up this weekend at the Frankfort Civic Center. And the Bears get things started at 6 o'clock Friday. St. Catherine, your opponent, and a team you split with this year.
Yeah, we really played well here against them and probably should have beat them by worse than we did. I think it ended up being 17 or so. But at their place, they just played tremendous. They shot 80% from the field, 100% from the 3, and 90% from the free throw line in the second half, and really made it difficult for us and still had opportunities to win. But give them credit. They played well. They're 13-13, and they seem to find their better games against us. So we'll have to be ready to play, but it didn't matter who that other team is going to be. We're going to have to play well to win in the tournament.
Absolutely. St. Catherine, of course, a very physical team that comes in. They'll try to play a physical game. We've seen that out of them, but they're also a very capable team, and they come in hungry. Their only shot at the national tournament is to win the Mid-South Conference tournament. That provides some hunger.
Yeah, no question. And, you know, they've got 2 of the better posts in the country, and McMillan and Wilkins both are high major type players, and we've got to do a good job defensively. We've never had any trouble scoring against them, but we've had a hard time stopping them just because of their physical nature. And their guards are 6'4", 6'3", really developed guys, and don't necessarily shoot it well, but are tough and really get to the basket. They're a tough matchup for us. So we've got to really try to do some things defensively to get ourselves in a better position. We can't give up 80% from the field and expect to win that game.
Absolutely. And not many teams shoot 80% against this Bears team because the defensive effort typically is there. But certainly this is a game of contrasting styles. You've got a very physical team and the Bears more of a finesse team. And it shows every time that these 2 teams get together. We're already penciling that one in. Bears will take care of business Friday night. We'll look forward Saturday night. It'll be an 8 p.m. tip-off. And a lot of Bears fans should be able to make it down for that as well. Hang around, and then Sunday's championship game as we look for the Bears to be in the conference championship on Sunday. But Mid-South Conference Tournament, we've seen it before. It's up for grabs. Any of the 8 teams that are there could come out Sunday as champions. Yeah,
it's really going to be just an exciting event. I know Frankfort's not really the ideal location in a lot of ways. You just don't get that local interest in what we're trying to do. But anybody that's a college basketball fan or basketball fan of any nature, you're going to see great basketball games, great coaching, and it's in a great arena. Just not a lot of people come out to the games. It's really a tragedy, to be honest with you. A lot of people should be there, but nonetheless, that's where it's at. We'd love to see you guys come, and last night we had a tremendous following. I mean, we had probably a third of what they had, at Wise. So, and they had a great crowd. So we're getting backers behind us, and we'd love to see you at Frankfort, and we'll try to do our best to win that thing.
Absolutely. Of course, follow the Bears to Frankfort this weekend. If you can't, tune in to Z-Rock 107.5, your home for Bears basketball all season long. we will have complete coverage of the Mid-South Conference Tournament beginning at 5:40 on Friday evening and all the way through the Mid-South Conference Tournament. And yes, we've made travel plans for Kansas City as well when the Bears travel to the national tournament. So we'll be there to bring you Bears basketball and, of course, keep you up to date with that. As we wind down this edition of the Kelly Wells Show, our next edition, we'll talk about the Mid-South Conference Tournament and talk about the upcoming national tournament. We'll have a better idea about seeding somewhat and find out where the Bears might land there as we talk on next week's show. But, Coach, got to say congratulations. Another 20-win season. We love that. Bears basketball in the forefront of NAIA basketball nationally. The respect is there, and it's all done in the right way. This is a quality program with a quality leader, quality players, everyone around the program first class, and it truly is our pleasure to follow this program. Not just success on the court, but off the court as well. Well,
we've been blessed. There's not a piece of anything that we do that's not class, from our coaches' shows to our administration to our school, and we're very prideful around here in Pikeville, and we want to represent it first class, and whether that be our basketball team or hospitals or whatever it might be, we're going to represent it with class and be first class at what we do, and it's just an honor and a blessing to be able to lead this team and hopefully lead us to another championship.
That's our coach, and that's how things are done with the University of Pikeville men's basketball program. They are first class, and doing things right, that wins championships. We're headed back to Kansas City in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll be talking about a championship for the U-Pike program. This week, the Mid-South Conference Tournament. Follow us on Z-Rock 107.5. On behalf of Coach Kelly Wells, you've been tuned to the Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce. Thanks for tuning in.